All right, so get this. 1980s celebrity cage match. Completely unbelievable outcome. You ready to dive in?
Oh, absolutely. This is one of those stories where truth really is stranger than fiction.
We're talking Emmanuel Lewis, Webster,
Yeah,
going up against Christopher Hewett, Mr. Belvedere himself.
it's wild.
And the sources on this, Sports Illustrated, People, even Mini Truckin' Magazine. This is going to be good.
You really get a sense of just how strange this whole thing was by looking at where people were talking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, what did Mini Truckin' Magazine have to say about this? You're about to find out.
Exactly. Okay, so picture this. It starts as this charity event, all lighthearted, exhibition match, and the crowd packed with huge E80s names. Charlotte Rae was there, Esther
It
Roll.
was the place to be, apparently.
But then, as these things often do, it all went a bit sideways.
The element of surprise is really what makes this so fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, nobody expected what Emmanuel Lewis brought to the ring that night.
Oh, tell me about it. People magazine called him this pint-sized powerhouse. Even Mini Truckin' Magazine was in awe of his rippling muscles.
This wasn't the Webster we all knew from TV.
Mhm.
This was something else.
Talk about a transformation. And on the other side, you had Christopher Hewett, probably expecting what, a fun little exhibition? A chance to ham it up for the camera?
I'd imagine. Completely unprepared for the sheer force Lewis brought into that ring.
Like showing up for a casual kickabout and suddenly you're in the World Cup final?
Exactly. And you can really feel the energy in the room shift as people start to realize this isn't a joke anymore.
The sources really pick up on that, don't they? Like that moment where everyone realizes this is actually serious. I mean, you've got Shadow Stevens, right? Shadow
Wow.
Stevens dropping his drink. That's when you know it's serious.
Right. This is a guy who'd seen it all, and even he was shocked. And Esther Roll, too. She looked genuinely concerned, like this wasn't supposed to be happening.
Which it kind of wasn't. Right. This was supposed to be lighthearted. But Lewis was just dominating. Sports Illustrated described his strength as almost inhuman, like something out of a comic book.
It was this total subversion of expectations. People thought they knew who Emmanuel Lewis was, and then bam, this whole other side comes out.
And nobody saw it coming. Okay, but here's where it gets really wild. So Lewis has Hewitt up in the air, right? Like about to deliver this final crushing blow. And out of nowhere, Martha Raye jumps up and screams, "Stop the fight."
You have to understand, this is peak 80s Hollywood, right? Everyone's playing a role, nothing's quite real. But Martha Raye's terror, that was real. She was genuinely afraid.
And then, of course, you have the Michael Landon thing. Still can't believe that happened.
Right. It's almost funny in a way, if it weren't for, the broken shoulder. But it just goes to show you how unpredictable this whole thing was. Lewis throws Hewitt from the ring, and he lands right on Michael Landon, who, by the way, was just an innocent bystander there to enjoy the show.
Which, let's be honest, is a pretty good metaphor for the whole 80s, right? This out-of-control excess, nobody knowing where things were going to land. The media definitely picked up on that, especially after everything went down. So once the dust settled, what happened? I mean, paramedics everywhere, the crowd's freaking out. It must have been absolute mayhem. What'd the sources say about those first few minutes?
You know, Michael Landon was surprisingly chill about the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah. McCall said he was more worried about Christopher Hewett than himself. Like, is Christopher okay? Classic band walls.
Always looking out for others. What about Hewitt? I mean, being thrown out of the ring by Webster has got to leave a mark.
He was definitely disoriented. People said his first words were, "Where's Wesley?"
Oh, wow. Talk about a blast from the past. I guess getting body slammed by Webster will do that to you. So he's okay, though, right? No lasting trauma.
Seems like he was fine, thankfully. People even said he joked about it later, something like, didn't know Webster was training with Ivan Drago.
That's good. At least he can laugh about it now. But it doesn't sound like everyone was quite as amused. Didn't the New Republic have a field day with this?
Oh, absolutely. They went all in on the whole excess of the 80s angle, steroids, unchecked ambition. They saw this whole thing as a symptom of a much bigger problem in Hollywood.
Which, knowing what we know now, isn't that far off.
Right.
What about Emmanuel Lewis? Did he ever say anything about, this sudden shift from Webster to Warrior?
He did. Mini Truckin' Magazine, of all places, actually landed an interview.
No way. What'd he say?
I came to win.
That's it.
That's it. No apologies, no explanations.
Wow. Talk about a power move. It's like he just fully embraced this new persona, which honestly makes you wonder, was this whole thing planned, like some kind of PR stunt?
It's a good question, and nothing in the sources really points to that. It seems like Lewis was really good at keeping this side of him hidden.
Makes it even more bizarre. On one hand, you've got this incredible display of strength, but on the other hand, you've got people genuinely terrified. Like Martha Ray's interview with people, she was really shaken up by the whole thing.
It really makes you question what's real and what's not, especially in that era of Hollywood.
It's the ultimate 80s story, right? Ridiculous, confusing, and makes you think long after it's over. Was it a publicity stunt? Was it just a bizarre night gone wrong? I guess we'll never really know.
And that's the beauty of a good deep dive, isn't it? Sometimes the best stories are the ones that leave you with more questions than answers.